Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and welcome to another episode of the EPL Index Transfer Daily. It is Monday, the 29th of July, ladies and gentlemen. Things are well afoot. We are nearly in August, the final month of the transfer window as well, aren't we? And I tell you what, things seems like for big clubs as well, things galore are moving. So we'll start at Manchester United, where Sports Zone in French and a few others are alluding to this. There's a deal in place for Jadon Sancho to move to PSG. And as Sports Zone put it, they have an agreement in principle, but the asking price is 50 million. So do they get close to that PSG? So I'll have to see on that one. And the Express even mentions as well, the United could be looking at swap deals because of the nature of their business so far. So they could target some of PSG's players. You look at Mukiele, there's a right back they're looking for. We know they're interested in Manuel Ugarte at the same time as well. That seems plausible. And even Milan Skriniar, who's out of favour there. It's not really worked since his move from Inter Milan. So there's a lot of players that United could be interested in. And speaking of players they are interested in, The Guardian has that they have agreed a fee with Nusar Mazraoui, the Bayern Munich right back. They agreed terms, but first they need to offload, as we mentioned a couple of times, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. It has that feeling like one in, one out at United, doesn't it? They've got to balance it all together. And Sky Sports says that West Ham have opened negotiations, as we mentioned before. United value the player about 50 million. West Ham wanted to play less and naturally only has a year left on his deal. So that plays a part as well. Speaking of former United players, David De Gea, almost people have forgotten about him. As Football Italia says, Genoa are in talks with him, trying to sign him as we get back into first team football. However, as Sky Sports also puts, his wages are a stumbling block, and you can well imagine because it was a huge contract he was on at United. Not played football for over a year now. Seems crazy, hasn't it, to play with that talent? But we'll see what happens there. Speaking of talents as well, one from the continent. I'm jumping around, but I think it's important to go to the continent. Nico Williams, remember, one of the stars of Spain's Euro 2014 that was successful, has that contract with Atletico Bilbao till 2027. A lot of links with Barcelona seem to be the obvious one. There's just a lot of suggestions by Marca and other Spanish outlets that he has actually chosen to remain, that he's going to say, I'm going to stay with Athletic Bilbao. There's obviously a special link with him, his brother, the club as well. So it'll be interesting to see just what happens there, but a lot going on. Now, this one came late last night from nowhere. Liverpool have turned down a bid for Wataru Endo, their Japanese defensive midfielder. Liverpool have been linked with a six. Liverpool fans are looking for a six, but could it be that it has to be Endo that departs? He only signed last season from Stuttgart for just over 16 million quid. And now the suggestions are that Marseille's bid was around 14 million euros. That translates about 11.5 million quid. Get euros at Tesco that way, etc. So we'll have to see. And Bundesliga clubs, according to various reports, are interested. So we will have to see on that, ladies and gents. At the same time as well, Calvin Phillips, there's a lot trying to go on the City trying to ship out players possibly. Football Insider says Villa have submitted a loan bid. Barcelona apparently want, according to Mundo Deportivo, João Cancelo, but they just cannot afford this asking price around 25 million quid. Think of what it cost at one time, but there we go. Everton look like they're about to sign a young defender from Lyon, but an Irish defender, 22 million for 23-year-old Jake O'Brien, which will raise questions, won't it, about what's happening with Branthwaite then. Is that the Onana money? Never mind what's happening with Everton's takeover or not, as it's going to go at the moment in time as well. So that will be interesting to see. West Ham, another failure, unfortunately, it seems like for them. L'Equipe in France saying they were willing to meet Youssouf Fofana's price tag, the French international. However, he has that verbal agreement to join AC Milan, according to Sky Germany, and that is where he wants to go. And speaking of AC Milan, ladies and gentlemen, they apparently still want Brazilian defender at Tottenham, Emerson Royale, the 25-year-old. So will they be able to secure that signing? We will have to see. Oh, it's one of those days, isn't it? Hay fever is everywhere, so my apologies for that. But here we are, ladies and gents. Monday, the 29th of July, the big clubs are starting to make moves or potentially sales, however you want to see it. It looks like things are really starting to gain traction. So it's the start of the week. Enjoy yours wherever you are and keep an eye out for the EPL Index Transfer Daily.